Hey, it's Hammer Time. Well, in this episode of Hammer Time, we are privileged and blessed to have one of the world's top economists, Steve Moore, with us. You are one of the architects of the federal tax law. This chamber, the Arizona Chamber of Commerce and Industry, strongly supported it.
So this was the most pro-growth initiative, since the Reagan tax cuts of the early 1980s. We cut the corporate tax rate to 20%. We cut the small business tax rate for pass-through small businesses to 30%. That was a phenomenal achievement because the rates had been much higher before. And how is it working? I mean, you can see it every day. You see it here in Arizona. I see it all around the country. We have the biggest construction boom going on in American history right now. New businesses being created, new warehouses, new factories, new homes. The combination of lower taxes, less regulation, pro-American energy policies, and just pro-business policies has made a world of difference. And I'm very proud of it. I mean, I think we've got an economy now that's growing at 4%, and I'm predicting we could see 2 or 3 years of that kind of growth.
It's a great position to be in, where you know that the situation will only get better. You've said on a number of occasions, growth cures a lot of problems. Can you maybe explain that? Because when people hear 2, 3, 4%, it may not sound
exactly.
like a lot, but
what does that mean?
But it means.
By the way, one thing it means is that this is probably a problem for the Chamber of Commerce. We have more jobs than we have people to fill them, right? I don't know if your businesses have that problem here in Arizona, but we're seeing it around the country.
We do. We have a very pro-jobs governor, and Governor Doug Ducey, who's on the state levels cut over 675 regulations, $50 million plus impact, as well as done some important things for our taxes. But yes, Steve, right now as we are in Maricopa County, the fastest growing county in the United States of America, more jobs than there are humans.
So you're not going to be like me saying this, but that's what we wanted to have happen, because our whole goal was rising wages for the middle class worker. This was not a tax cut for rich people. This was always designed to help give leverage to middle class workers who hadn't had a raise in 20 years, and now we're finally seeing it.
You have been one of the proponents, and not just spectators, but one of the drivers in Arizona for over 20 years in terms of.
I go back to Fife Symington. Remember him? What a great governor he was. And we started that. When was that? In the 80s or 90s?
Early 1990s.
Yeah. And so we've had 25 years of great progress in just ratcheting those tax rates down. And every time you do that, you just make Arizona a little bit more competitive, with the rest of the states. Those things make a difference, and that's why, I'm just flabbergasted. Truly, I'm flabbergasted and very nervous about this initiative on the ballot to double your state income tax. I've been in this business, for a long time, going back to the mid-'80s. I don't think I can recall a single more dangerous initiative than this one, really. And that's 50 states. That's including New York, California, New Jersey, Connecticut, my own state of Illinois. This is really dangerous because almost a 4.5% increase in terms of percentage points increase, and a doubling of the state income tax, that would have a very negative effect on the growth rate. I think you would see a lot of businesses, a lot of wealthy people move out of the state. You'd lose a lot of your tax base. In Arizona, which we rank the 8th best state in the country, in terms of economic climate, I don't know exactly, but I think you'd go from about 8th to about 30th overnight if you pass this.
Well, you've talked about migration, and if you take a look at, and I love every year reading Rich States, Poor States, the ALEC publication that you author, I believe, with Art Laffer.
Yep.
And can you talk a little bit about what the difference between the high income
it's a
tax
very
states
big
and the low income?
So we like to compare the top 10 states with the highest taxes and the 10 states with the lowest taxes. And Arizona is in near one of the bottom 10. And so just to give you one statistic, the 10 states with the highest 10 taxes in the country, they have created half as many new jobs as the states with the lowest taxes. So double the job creation rate in those low tax areas. In terms of incomes rise 30% faster in states with low taxes. Well, by the way, we learned this lesson with what's happened with the Trump tax cut. What was the philosophy? Put more money in the into the coffers of the business so they can expand and they can hire more workers and they can, invest more. And that's precisely what they've done. So we've seen firsthand that this actually works right now, right in front of us. And this is the worst time to be raising taxes because you can't deduct it now from your federal taxes. And that means, when you raise your rate to 9%, that's 9%. It's not, you're not going to be able to write that off on your federal taxes. And so I estimate actually that you'd be effectively tripling your state income tax. Can you believe that? You'd be going from an effective tax rate in 2017 of about 3% to 9%.
Right now, we have a welcome mat out to people and businesses. We want to keep that welcome mat out.
Well put.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.